Stop getting hung up on the CRM conversation. Spreadsheets are not the answer. Let's talk about moving all of your information from your email and LinkedIn over to a CRM. I'm going to show you why CRM. Let's go. I'm Mark Perone with Rethink Revenue. Today, I'm going to answer the question, why CRM? There's a few leaders inside the H7 network. If you guys don't know, I'm highly competitive and I also love the conflict associated with content. They have been telling people that you do not need a CRM, that you can just use a spreadsheet, which is partially true. I'm going to show you why you need one and how you build your business around it, from marketing, sales, and post-sale revenue realization. Mark Perone with Rethink Revenue. Hola, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I kind of pirated Alex and Tammy over here to pad my numbers a little bit, so thanks for that, guys. So today I'm going to go over a couple things. I've got this presentation I'm working on. I'm actually building a program around this. Erica, since you're new to tech or to H7 generally, I'm going to kind of do a rehash of where you can find information on H7, and then I'm going to get to the point of reference that I'm talking about around this networker's tech stack concept, okay? So if you go to the H7 network website, h7network.com, you can find a bunch of information here about H7. You can find a meeting here, you can find members here. In the member directory, I've got this thing on the deals section. If you guys don't know about this, you can create a deal for H7 where you can give a discount for whatever you're peddling. You can, conceptually offer different things around highlighting what you're doing for H7. And that's what I've done here. I've saved this space for Tech Corner. And more or less in 40 minutes, I put together a CRM for you that has an integrated phone application. Your email's integrated, whether you're on Gmail or Outlook. Calendly's integrated, LinkedIn's integrated, Zoom's integrated, and your calendar is all integrated into the CRM. I put it together in 40 minutes. I just did it with Scott. It's pretty seamless. It works really, really well. And it's, for the most part, free. If you don't pay for Calendly, you have to pay for Calendly. That's $12 a month for Calendly. And I think Zoom, you have to have a paid tier on Zoom to integrate Zoom on it. But if you have those, the rest has no cost. The LinkedIn integration is called Link Match. If you're not on LinkedIn, this isn't going to matter to you. If you are, I would go take a look at Link Match. It's $20 a month and you can click a button and drop people in your CRM. It checks to see if people are in your CRM. I think a few people in here have it. I know Deb does, Linda has it. I think John does. Scott, you have it too, right? No, okay. It's not a product I sell. It's just something I recommend because I use it. None of those things I make any money from. So it's totally like transparent and fair for everyone on that. It's just a really cool way to tie together your CRM, okay? All right, so does everybody understand this so far? Yes, all right, perfect. All right, so I'm gonna pull up this document. Laced into everything that I do are these little infographics that my company's actually built on, okay? I am a CRM implementer above all else. I do represent the HubSpot product, generally speaking, but that's more of a lead magnet than anything else. I've worked with over 150 CRMs. There's about 272 that I've identified as ones that are applicable to your business. And there's always new ones popping up. That does not count ERP integrated CRM. So like in the manufacturing space, they have this big software called ERP, and they put this little tiny piece of CRM in it, and it usually is terrible. So I've worked with a lot of those too, okay? Now, fundamentally speaking, every business is uniquely similar, okay? We all market, we all sell, and we all deliver a product or service. Doesn't matter what business you're in. Even a nonprofit delivers a service, okay? So I don't care what business you're in, that's all the same, all right? I break this into divisions of labor. When you break things into divisions of labor, it's called siloing, and most people are like, oh, you got silos, your business isn't running efficiently or effectively. That is bullshit. You need to silo information that's in a specific division of labor so that everyone knows what's happening before they do their job and what happens after they do their job. Now, I'm not saying micro silo where you stay in your little area and don't look off to the side, but what we run into is a poorly defined marketing term in every business. Many times you're like, oh, so I haven't seen much marketing from you guys, right? And we all have this concept of marketing, but if I asked you for a definition of it, none of you would have one. It's really weird how this word works. I do marketing because I advertise. Okay, maybe that's a little bit of it. I do marketing because I've got business cards. Yeah, I guess you could say that's marketing, but there's a concept of end-to-end marketing that you need to build into your organization that sequences who you're targeting to your customer. Okay, this is why CRM is really, really important. Okay, you can use an Excel spreadsheet to put, first name in a column, last name in a column, a phone number in a column, but that information doesn't come to life and you cannot concatenate. It's a big word, I know. Sometimes people love it, sometimes people hate it. Data people understand what that means. It means put information together. You can concatenate information down into a CRM that brings it to life. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So obviously this is HubSpot. This is not the only CRM in the marketplace. Alex, I think you represent Thrive, right?
I represent 4 or 5 different CRMs that I work with.
Perfect. Linda, you represent Go Higher CRM, right?
Go high level. That's one of the ones.
Go high level.
Go high level. There's Scott Starnes that's in here represents Keep. There's somebody else that comes in with Thrive. A CRM is a good thing to have generally, and all of those products have their place. I'm showing you HubSpot because mine's built on this and I can give you some background information about it, okay? So when I go in here and I look in HubSpot, I've got a bunch of contacts in here that are outlined by first name, last name, okay? When I drop down into one of the contact records, I get this sub view where all these details start to come out that would be columns on a spreadsheet. Just on the contact level alone, I've got 221 column headers on a spreadsheet. Think about that. How many pages would you need to have a spreadsheet with that many column headers? That's just for the people, the humans that are in my system. If I switch this to companies, I've got 91 more column headers from a spreadsheet. If I switch this to deals, I've got 57 more. So you're looking at over 300 column headers that you would have to have for this information to be on one spreadsheet. Now, some people will say to me, I have Outlook, I don't need a CRM. Okay, you could do that if you have a really small contact base, but you don't have a concept of a company descriptor in there. So you can say they work for a company, but when I go back here and I look, I can have a spreadsheet that has contact name and the company they work for. But if I go into this contact record, you actually see the association. Jody works at Overnight Author. Overnight Author has properties associated with it that are brought back to the contact record. I have a concept of deals in here. So for everything that I sell to this company that I'm talking to Jody about is all brought into the CRM so that you can see this relationship that starts to develop. If you notice, when I go to Jody, you can see emails that have gone back and forth between Jody and I. I'll bring up a better record that has more data in it so you can see the level at which this information is just brought in automatically. Like, I don't really update my CRM. I'm the laziest salesperson you will ever meet. I sell every day, but I do not want a data entry. I don't want to do it. Behind the scenes, let the record show, slightly dyslexic, 100%. My spelling is awful. And I'm really lazy when it comes to admin function. So that little thing right there gets me fired every time I'm a salesperson somewhere. Like, I'm like, no, I'm just going to go do work. I'm not going to give you the data back, right? So if I go in here.
Mark, I have a question, but you could be like me as well, though, where you probably either A, spend a lot of time automating a lot of this, because HubSpot has automations, right? Like that way you don't have to worry about spending every day sending out complex emails. You put people into these automations. I mean, that's what you're using HubSpot for as well, correct? I mean, you're running automations and drip campaigns and sales sequences.
So that's a different conversation for a different day, and that happens over here. Right now, what I'm talking about is just the organization of the information. So the way you think about this is a filing cabinet that you've got people working to put data in that filing cabinet in alphabetical order by the concept that you're going for. So if you walked up to the filing cabinet, pulled out a company record, you would have sub files in there that are all constantly being updated for you. That's the concept I'm going for. Alex, you're on the mark 100%, but I can't go into that part. It's true, but that's not the true power of the CRM. CRMs are designed to create interrelated data first. Second, it started out as a sales pipeline. That's the real reason. ACT was the first CRM, just so we're clear. ACT with a bang symbol. Back in the day, I'm sure some of us are a little bit older, remember this program. It had a database, Rolodex style, and then they added sales pipeline to it. It then grew into sales logics that offered marketing, sales, and customer service. To take this a step further, Alex, what you just commented on is marketing campaign structure. That's an embedded concept under marketing. Sales pipeline, that's an embedded concept under sales, and customer service has tickets associated with it. So any enterprise level CRM has those three modalities associated with it. It's really important that we understand kind of the architecture of the way the system works before we get into the why portion.
No, I completely agree. I mean, I'm just commenting on your statement about you saying that you were dyslexic, and I was just making sure that people understood that that's why you leverage the CRM to help out with your weaknesses. That's more of what I was getting at.
Sure. Yep. I gotcha. So what you're going to notice here is Greg Goshorn. He's one of the presenters in the other room. He does the YouTube stuff. He's got a bunch of information filled out in here, none of which I've populated except for he's got 6,000 email addresses. So I always have to keep up with how many emails he's got. So, and it's infinitely frustrating to communicate with him on email because you never know which email address to send to. That said, it allows me to stack all those email addresses. If you try to do that in an Excel file, think about that field, email, and then you would have to have comma, right? It doesn't allow for this concept, and that's on the simplest level. Once we get more sophisticated, you're gonna see all of these emails that have flown back and forth between us. This was dumped in here automatically. My integration to my email allows for this information to be captured. When we go on LinkedIn, I've got all of our LinkedIn messaging embedded in the CRM automatically. I didn't have to touch this, it just came over. That's all that happened. It just did exactly the same thing as the email integration. So this concept of a central database becomes much different because contacts are getting added for me, companies are getting added for me. Taking it to that first tier concept is worth the money alone if you had to pay for it. Everything I've showed you thus far is on the free tier of HubSpot. So when people tell you it's expensive, it's really about what you use it for. When you get into something like Go High Level, and there's a lot of marketing automation associated with it, you're paying for the service of the marketing automation that's embedded in it, and it's well worth it. Those concepts are really, really good. Thrive is a little bit different. You've got a database that's attached to old Yellow Book that you can access. That's why the price point warrants that concept of CRM. Those are all subset amenities associated with those brands. Does that make sense? Okay. So going back to why CRM, we can organize our businesses now by divisions of labor. That's first thing. When we get down into building funnels, This is what Alex was talking about. You can create something called a full feedback loop. Okay, this is a really important thing to understand in sales land, right? Imagine you go to the networking group, you present your card, that person's information is loaded into your CRM, and then you send out a thank you email associated with it, and they can respond back. I had them in my database, and let's say every person I uploaded this week, business card wise, got an email that said, it was great to meet you this week. I'd love to connect with you with another one-on-one. Here's my virtual meeting link. You emailed out of HubSpot or out of a CRM, you gave them a call to action that they fulfilled, and then that is pulled down into HubSpot as a meeting, and the record is checked off. It's all done for you automatically. You did have to send the email first, but the rest of it is brought back into the CRM for you. That level of automation today, think about doing that. If you went to a trade show and got 30 business cards, you'd have to type in their first name, build their company record, create the email to each individual, and send that out. That's 2 hours of time probably. All of that information, because you have a business card scanner on the phone application, you put in 30 emails, it's going to show you in the system how they came in. You parse by anybody that was brought in the system in the last 7 days, 5 days. Then you send a group email to all of them, and it looks like it's customized for each individual. That's all on the free tier of the CRM, just so we're clear. I did not talk about anything that has a paid tier.
Mark, question about the business card scanner. Is that part of HubSpot?
Yeah. Yep, it's embedded in the phone application. I'd show it to you, but I only have 3 minutes left here.
Okay.
So this is designed to show you what a funnel looks like. And to explain this a little bit, I go on LinkedIn, I use Link Match, I bring them into CRM, and then I start communicating with them. For you guys, if I connect with you on LinkedIn and you saw me at this meeting, that's 2 marketing touches. If I send you an email, that's 3 marketing touches. Now, depending on who you follow in the world of sales, they're like, oh, I need 7 touches before I can sell something. I need 37 touches before I sell something. No matter what, by automating a lot of this stuff, you're getting those touches you're looking for, and you start to reveal these channels as ways to communicate with people that isn't a one-to-one conversation. It's a big time saver, okay? Going into the sales pipeline, this is embedded in most CRMs. Many of them, like Pipedrive, only have this still. Their contact record stuff is pretty minimal, but it's a cheap CRM, so amenity-wise, it explains why it's inexpensive. You can set up a deals pipeline by how you sell things. So you have properties that are specific to deals. One of them is like proposal creation, yes or no, right? If somebody wants a proposal from you, you want to keep track of that. I get sometimes like 3 or 4 proposals a week, and it's hard to keep track of who I've sent them to and who I need to send them to. Well, on the deal level, I check the box that I've added the proposal and I send it out. I move it to the stage that says proposal sent. And now I know what my follow-up mechanism is. Anything that's in deal proposal sent, I'll touch them once a week. I'll hit them on LinkedIn. I'll call them. I'll send them an email, whatever way that you feel like is necessary to reach out. You do not have this in an Excel spreadsheet, and you do not have this capability in Outlook. Okay, this is why CRM. This is a different way to look at the way you organize your business. Okay, what I've done here is I've outlined a swim lane flow chart. Once you start to understand the architecture of your business, you're going to start to want to put steps to name what marketing is. It defines marketing for you. In this story, and I don't know how high quality this is going to be, this right here says the part they play, the activities they do, their responsibilities, and who are the general role players in that department. For those of us that are solopreneurs or small businesses, sometimes you're the only person that markets, sells, and delivers. If you mechanize this so that you understand what marketing is doing to move it into a sales workflow, you start to organize that business plan that every SBA wants you to do that nobody ever does. They're like, oh, tell me who your competitors are. What's your marketing strategy? What's your sales strategy? How are you going to deliver? Like that whole story of 72 pages that comes out there. This is that same thing, just done in a way that you can mechanize the process. This is why CRM. I'm following the same concept that I had on that customer journey framework, this right here. Marketing, sales, customer service. I broke them out so you've got marketing and the duties associated with it, sales and the duties associated with it, and production or service delivery or customer service, and how that deliverable works in conjunction with sales. And then ultimately you come back to a remarketing concept. All of this strategy is embedded in the CRM concept. So the last thing is, if you don't have a CRM and you have 1 or 2 or 3 of these things, how are you automatically adding data to your spreadsheet? How much heavy lifting are you doing every week to keep up with TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, email, trade shows? All of that stuff in a spreadsheet is crazy once you become a professional salesperson. All of that stuff managed in an email client is crazy if you're a professional salesperson. All of these CRMs were designed from a customization back in the day that's now configurable. This is what I tell all my clients. Don't ask me if it can do it. Ask me to show you how it does it. Hey, Mark, can HubSpot do this? You know the answer to that question. Yes, this is how we do it though. It's a little bit different than what you currently understand, but once you shift, you become exponential. You create a way to go from 250,000 in sales to 2.5 million in sales very quickly. And I've scaled organizations just like that with this exact methodology. We have never not set a sales record, and I always use a CRM.